Shalom, 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 Israel. First and foremost, want to give a call hello to Yahweh. By Shema Mashiach, Manak Yahushua. Yahweh is the name of the Heavenly Father, which the world calls God. And Yahushua is the name of his only begotten Son, which the world only calls Jesus Christ. First and foremost, want to give a strong shalom to all the mighty men who's going out there laboring. They're presenting their bodies as a living sacrifice. They're doing all they can to wake up the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Not only that, they're enduring the elements, the 100-degree weathers, freezing below codes, and everything that's trying to hinder the work of the Most High. Shalom, shalom. Want to give another strong shalom to Almighty Akwath. All right, the sisters that are at home, but they're reverencing their husbands, being teachers of good things, tender, delicate, and on fire for the Most High God. Right, shalom. Last but not least, want to give another strong shalom to all the mighty teenagers and children in this truth. Right? They're doing all they can to make their calling and election sure in these last days. Right? And the topic of this code cut is titled, right? 3 signs that you're filled with pride. All right? 3 signs that you feel with pride. Now, it could be more than just 3 signs. I mean, it's many different ways that you can know that you're filled with pride. All right? And we have to go over these things because, right, pride is a demon that's, not really talked about like that. All right, pride is a top 3 demon on the left hand side, maybe even number 1. And as we approach it more and more into the coming of Yahushua, we have to make sure that we're blameless and keeping our spirit cleansed from these different spirits, right? So they don't hop on us and overthrow us. All right. So again, this is 3 signs that you're filled with pride, and everybody has pride inside them. All right. If you're a man, if you're born of a woman, was born on this earth, you came from a woman, you have pride inside you. You're in the flesh. All right. If you say that you don't have pride, I mean, you just prideful off you saying that you don't have it. All right. Everybody has pride in their members. All right. You just have to make sure that you're not moving and operating in that spirit. And a lot of people, they think they don't have the spirit, but they do. All right. And that's one of the big things with pride is blinding. So you may have the spirit of pride and not even know that you're prideful. All right. So I first want to kick off. I didn't get a chance to write down any precepts. So right, we gonna just go off the spirit. But I want to get this in Job. I don't want to get this in the book of Job, chapter 33. All right, this is Job, chapter 33, in verse number 16. It says, "Then he openeth the ears of men, and sealeth their instruction, that he may withdraw man from his purpose, and hide pride from man." See that? So oftentimes, the Most High has to hide pride from man, because pride is already built inside of mankind. But the Lord has to seal your instruction, and sometimes the Most High hides that. Whether he have you examine yourself and you say, "Wow, man, I've been prideful through the Spirit." All right. Or the Most High cannot hide that from you and have you be overthrown and be cast down. All right. So the first sign that you're filled with pride is when you think and you're here for a moment that you're not dust and ashes. All right. Anytime you think that you're above or better than dust and ashes, you feel with pride. All right. Something that's big that men and women still struggle with when they come into this truth is their ego. All right. Whoever they used to be in the world, whether that was a drug dealer, you might have been a model, you might have been a superstar, professional sports player, anything of that nature. People still try to bring that mentality, or that you might have had a lot of money in the world. People still try to bring that character into the truth. You can't do that, man. When you come into the truth, you learn that hey, you're nobody. You're dust and ashes. But certain sisters and certain brothers, they get in their head that they above earth and ashes. They think that they're somebody when they're nothing. They think there's somebody great. You got brothers saying, they underneath the Abishai. You got brothers literally saying that they not listening to nobody but other than Yahushua, right? You had this a long, long time ago. You had this one brother. He told me, hey, straight up, we're not gonna say his name, but he said, hey, I'm gonna be better than you. He told me that to my face. All right. He said, hey, I'm gonna be better than you. That's off. So you gotta remind yourself that you're only dust and ashes. Nothing more, nothing less. Right? You got brothers saying, yeah, I'm gonna be better than you in this truth one day. That's off. Right? The Lord not dealing with that, man. Right? This is I want to get this precept in Sirach chapter 10 and 9. Right? I'm gonna start at verse 7. Sirach 10 and 7. Pride is hateful before God and man, and by both doth one commit iniquity. So pride is hateful in the eyes of the Lord. The Lord hates pride. The Most High, He's not prideful. All right. And the Most High literally has everything. He created everything. He's governing the whole world in His hands. Yet the Lord can still remain unprideful. So pride is hateful before God and man, and by both doth one commit iniquity. Jumping down to verse 9. Why is earth and ashes proud? Right? That's a rhetorical question, man. Why are you prideful? You're dust and you was made from the dirt. You was made from the nasty, filthy dirt with worms in it and bugs and insects. The Lord is saying, what the hell are you doing prideful? You got sisters thinking they something when they not. All right. You got brothers, they might get a position, or you know, they might come up in the so-called world. They might achieve certain things. Right? There's plenty of brothers we know that they obtain some type of knowledge, wisdom, and they let that go to their head. You got sisters, they being prideful, they boasting off who their husband is. Yeah, my husband is so and so, right? That's off. All of these things is hateful before the Lord. If you don't, a lot of people, if they don't get their way, they having a fit. That's pride. You have to remind yourself that you're dust and ashes. Then the Lord formed man from the dust of the ground. Didn't the Lord tell Adam, "A dust and ashes art thou, and dust and ashes shalt thou return"? Because Adam, he went off. Now Adam already had everything. The world was his. Yet he was prideful, went off, disobeyed the Most High's commandment, and the Lord had to remind him toward his death, "Hey, who you really are." Let's go to that in Genesis chapter 2, right? Let's go to that in the book of Genesis. Actually, I want Genesis chapter 3. All right. Let's go to the book of Genesis chapter 3 and verse number 19. Right? This Genesis chapter 3 and 19. And the sweat of thy face thou shalt eat bread till thou return unto the ground, for out of it wast thou taken. For dust art thou, and unto dust shalt thou return. See that? So when you give up the ghost, man, you're going right back to the dust which you was formed. That means you're nothing. Don't get in your head or even think for a second that you're greater than what the Most High commanded you to be. All right? You will always be dust and ashes. You have to walk in that spirit, or else that pride demon gonna hop on you and overthrow you. Again, you gotta lead that pride. You gotta lead that in the world, man. We have goals. We have a nation to build. All right, we have brothers have families to build up. We have people to wake up, the elect to wake up. All pride is gonna do is stop the will of the Lord from being happen. All right. Hey, Jay can't even come together in a family get together, man. People talking about each other, whether that's uncles, it's all type of envy, strife, all type of evil spirits. If you in this truth and you thinking that you're something that you're not, you going off. I want to get that in Galatians, and that's why the Most High jam up a lot of brothers and have to remind them, hey, slow your roll, right? Let's go to the book of Galatians. Right, I want to get this in the book of Galatians, chapter 6. Right, this is the book of Galatians, chapter 6, and verse number 3. It says, for if a man think himself to be something, when he is nothing, he deceiveth himself. So a lot of men and women, you deceiving yourselves, man. A lot of brothers, they think they're apostles and prophets back on the earth. All right. The Most High called you to do another office, and you just want to go out and be an apostle. You're not built up in a faith. You don't study. You're not prepared. You're in folly all day. Yeah, you want to be something that you're not. A lot of brothers, they look at certain brothers, try to mimic them. All of that is associated with pride. All right. Anytime you feel in a spirit that you force, and your spirit gonna tell you that you forcing it. All right, you forcing the spirit to be something that you not. You only deceiving it. You're not deceiving nobody else but yourself, man. Because the Lord sees everything. The Most High knows everything. All right, you got certain men they had to have wives and children. They think they somebody they not. They think they a general. You ruling over your woman with vigor, your children. All right, you constantly. I mean, you just big headed. You got same thing with sisters and they households and they families. They're prideful. I don't have to listen to my husband. I'm better. You have certain women saying I'm better than my husband. All right, I'm above my husband. Where's that at in the Bible? I thought the Lord said, "For the head of every man is Christ, and the head of Christ is God, and the head of the woman is the man." How are you better than? How are you above your man? Well, all of these spirit, you saying it subconsciously in your head, and the Most High is giving you over to a reprobate mind. You don't know the precepts. You're not in the spirit. You just out there. So that's why the Lord said, examine yourself. Because if you're not examining yourself, you're gonna think you're gonna think you're doing what's right. You're gonna think you in the spirit, right? You're gonna think that you're on fire. Whole time you're not. That's what pride does. It blinds you. All right. Let's go to the book of Genesis. Right? Right. Let's go to the book of Genesis. Right. It's the book of Genesis, chapter, I want 18. Right. Dealing with Abraham. Right. You got Genesis chapter 18 and verse number. I'm going to start at verse 26. And it says, and the Lord said, if I find in Sodom 50 righteous within the city, then I will spare all the place for their sakes. And Abraham answered and said, behold, now I have taken upon me to speak unto the Lord, which am but dust and ashes. Right? So Abraham said he was dust and ashes, man. Nothing. All right. At the bottom. And now we're not better than Abraham, our father. Abraham has done far greater works than we have ever could. So if you're not above, I mean, if you think you above dust and ashes, you saying you're above Hamashiach, you saying you above Adam, Abraham, all of these top prophets that was on the earth, you deceiving yourself. You got certain buzz. Nah, I don't have to fast. Why do you think you don't have to fast? Why do you think you don't have to pray? Like it's an option. Why do you don't think you have to treat your brother with respect? Where is we getting these spirits from, man? But that's man for you. That's why the Most High put these curses on us, because we just wanted to do whatever we wanted to do. We didn't want to obey the commandments. It was all out of pride. Again, the first sign is when you think that you're better than dust and ashes. And you could do that through your actions. You don't have to necessarily say that. The things you do just show that how prideful you are, man. You have to remember that the Lord created you from the dust, and you will always be dust. You have to submit yourself unto his will, but he clothed with humility, do his purpose, and that's it. Fear God and keep his commandments. Right, let me get this in the book of Acts, chapter 5. Right? It's the book of Acts, chapter 5, and verse number 36. Right? It's like it. Right? It's Acts 5 and 36, and it reads, For before these days rose up Thaddeus, boasting himself to be somebody, to whom a number of men, about 400, joined themselves, who went slain, and all as many as obeyed him were scattered and brought to naught. So this man Thaddeus, he boasted himself to be somebody, man. He wanted to be like Moses. All right. He wanted to do his own thing. You got Diotrephes when you read 3rd John 1 and 9 on down. He wanted to seek out the preeminence. All of these different spirits, the Lord not doing that. All right. Everybody is dust and ashes. You're not better than the next man. You're not better than the next sister. And your works are never found perfect before the Most High. Let's go to First Maccabees, chapter 13. Right? Let's go to First Maccabees, chapter 13, and verse number 5. Right? First Maccabees 13 and 5. Now therefore be it far from me that I should spare my own life in any time of trouble, for I am no better than my brethren. Right? You have that mindset. As long as I just want to serve Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, keep his commandments by all means, you're going to be free from the first sign, which is you believing that you're better than dust and ashes, that you're more than dust and ashes, right? Now, the second sign that you just completely filled with pride, I mean, you just filled up, is when you can't take constructive criticism, all right? If you cannot take constructive criticism, I mean, you're just extremely prideful, man, right? What is constructive criticism? All right, also known as correction, reproof, right? It's when you criticize something in detail that somebody could approve on. Now we all have things that we could work on through the spirit, but you have to be able to take constructive criticism. If not, I mean, you're gonna be destroyed, man. What you gonna say? You're gonna be destroyed. All right, because that's a net. We just read that the pride is hateful before God. If a sister says, "Hey, sister, you have a blemish on your garment," right? You've been out of the spirit lately. All right, you've been treating this sister a certain type of way, and you've been treating me differently. And you say, "No, you tripping. You don't know what's going on. That's not me." And you going off, man. If your husband say, "Hey," to your wife, if your husband say to you, "Hey, you haven't been doing what I've been asked you to do. You've been disrespectful, rebellious, not listening to what I'm saying," and you say anything other than "Salakia, I apologize," You just going off. If your wife is saying to you, brother, hey, you haven't been doing your husbandly duties, right? You haven't been doing, how you haven't been operating as a man of the Lord, so forth and so on. You've been doing this, da 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 da. You could do this better, and you give a response other than Salakia, I apologize, I'm gonna fix that. You just going off. If a brother tell you, hey, brother, you've been having a lust demon, a slothful demon on you. You need to do da 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 da, and you say anything other than that, you're going off. You're literally going off on a deeper level. The Most High is telling you these things. All right. Let me get the book of I want Job real quick. Thinking of a lot of precepts. Right. It's the book of Job, chapter 6. Job chapter 6 and verse number 24. Teach me, and I will hold my tongue, and cause me to understand where I have erred. Right? You want to be, you want to be, you want to have the Most High to show you where you're going off at. All right. You want to have the Most High to show you your mistakes. Now the Lord is not gonna do that Himself. A lot of brothers say, if not correction from Yahweh Shah, I'm not dealing with it. Well, brother, you gonna die. What the hell you think this is, man? The Lord is always gonna cause you where you going off at and show you. Whether He does that via an animal, like He did for Alam in Numbers the 22nd chapter, whether that's a man, hey, that could be your children. The Lord is always gonna show you these things, and if you neglect to hear it, you just going off, right? You have to be able to take correction. I mean, if you don't, you just don't want to get better in the spirit. You just got a demon on you, man. You just want to do what you want to do. Right? Let's go to the book of Proverbs, the classic, the 6th chapter. Right? If I hear another brother say that, man, right? That only person that's I'm not listening to nobody else but Yahweh Shai, I might lay hands on the brother, man, in righteousness. What do you think that Hamashiach woman like Yahweh Shai is gonna get off his throne and tell you that you're going off? Then that's the only way you're gonna listen. You're gonna have a hard time in life. You have to listen. We don't know everything. We don't have the laws in our inward parts. We're not 100% complete. You have to know how to learn from experience, from errors, trials, mistakes, correction. Right? Let's go to the book of Proverbs 6. All right, this is the book of Proverbs, chapter 6, and verse number 23. For the commandment is a lamp, and the law is light, and reproofs of instruction are the way of life. Right? And we love proofs of instruction, man. Right? That's like you doing you at basketball practice, man. You doing the drills. Hey, the coach come out and say, hey, all right, man, you messed up on this drill. You're supposed to cross over to the left. All right, Euro step, lay it off the glass. But you did something else instead. Or your footwork wasn't fast enough. All right? Or you didn't pass the ball earlier. You need to wait till the screen come to you. That's like coach, hey, he's not just saying it to say it. Hey, the coach see potential in you. Hey, he's trying to get you better, man. That's why we love reproofs. All right? We love instruction. So if you don't get that reproof, guess what? You're gonna get caught out there. All right, from the brother Ahaziah, Proverbs 12 and 1. That's a good precept, right? Right? It says, whoso loveth instruction loveth knowledge, but he that hateth reproof is brutish. Right? If you love instruction and you love knowledge, you love wisdom and increasing through the spirit. But if you hate reproof, you got actual people that hate reproof. Hey, people in the world operate like you can't tell these people in the world nothing, man. They getting all in their feelings, don't know what's going on. They can't take reproof and instruction. They be, hey Jake, you tell Jake on the street he got to do something, and he'll kill you, man. How much more for us, the servants of the Lord, operating in that spirit and the truth. That's why we hate pride. All right. So improve reproofs of instruction is the way of life. That's how you live. All right, let's go to the book of. That's why these accounts is written for our learning. I mean, ultimately, if you, you really just pride if you're just not in the spirit. All right. I mean, that's what it really comes down to. I want to get the precept in Sirach 20. All right, this Sirach 20:1 says there's a reproof that is not comely. Again, some man holdeth his tongue, and he is wise. It is much better to reprove than to be angry secretly, and he that confesseth his fault shall be preserved from hurt. So there is a reproof, right? That's not comely. All right, that might be rebuke. All right, the Lord said, "Open rebuke is better than secret love." All right, in Proverbs chapter 27:5, verse 3. How good is it when thou art reproved to shew repentance, for thou shalt escape willful sin. All right, when you reprove, you might have a judgment that's laid up for you. Let's say if you go outside of that reproof, that instruction, and the Most High is going to damn you up. And the Lord said, the Lord speaketh once, yea, twice, yet man perceiveth it not. All right, the Lord might speak to you in a vision or a dream, but man is such on a low level that he can't perceive certain things that are spiritual. Everything is spiritual. Let me get that in Proverbs, right? Let me get that in the book of Proverbs, chapter. I want that might be Proverbs. Slakia. Let me look for this precept. Right? Proverbs 28 and verse 5. It's the book of Proverbs 28 and 5. Evil men understand not judgment, but they that seek the Lord understand all things. So if you're not seeking the Lord, you're not gonna have no understanding. A man that's seeking the Lord, and he understands all things. He understands all spiritual aspects, the things that's going on in the celestial heavens. All right, that's going on behind the scenes. Because the Most High opened up his eyes to be able to see that. Certain men they can't see that, man. That's why they one-dimensional. Again, the Most High is not dealing with these spirits. If you're prideful, hey, the Lord will kill you. He hates pride. All right. So you have to be able to take, again, constructive criticism. Somebody says that you're doing something or you need to fix this, do it with no explanations. All right? Because in that end, when it's judgment day and the Lord tells you it, I mean, that's going to be far away. I mean, that's going to break your spirit, right? And we don't want to be corrected by Yahweh Shah himself, right? We don't want to be corrected by the Most High himself. All right, didn't Jeremiah say that? Let me get that in Jeremiah chapter 10 real quick. And the Lord might destroy us in his correction. And when the Lord corrects, it get ugly. I'd rather have man correct me than the Most High to correct me, man, directly. All right, let me get this in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 10. Right? It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 10 and verse number 24. Jeremiah 10 and 24. Oh Lord, correct me, but with judgment, not in thy anger, lest thou bring me to nothing. See, when the Lord corrects you, man, and it's anger, when he get mad, hey, he might turn you into nothing. The Lord got the ability to turn you into a dust particle like that. So the Most High might say, hey, he might want to correct you, but he might say, you know what? I ain't even gonna say nothing. I'm gonna just send this brother to tell him that. Because if I say something to him, I might wipe his spirit off the earth. And the Lord could do that. All right. So the third, that's the second sign. You have the first sign that you're pride, that you're filled with pride, is when you think you're something more than dust and ashes. You have the second one, you can't take constructive criticism. And the third way that sign that you're filled with pride, we're gonna go to the precept. All right. The third sign that you're filled with pride, we're gonna go to that. That's Iraq. Right, it's Iraq chapter 10 and verse number 12. Right? It's Iraq 10 and 12. The beginning of pride is when one departed from God and his heart is turned away from his maker. So the third sign that you feel with pride is when you find yourself turning away from the Most High. When you're not going hard in this truth, man. When you actually not walking in this truth. You slipping out, you going back into the world. You dabbling and dealing with the old spirits that you used to indulge in. Your mind is not right. You haven't been fasting. You haven't been keeping the feast. You haven't been congregating. You just haven't been in the spirit. You've been up at your job all day. You've been with the people of the world. You ain't been in the studying at all. It's when pride is first in your heart, when you depart from the Most High God. It says, verse 13, for pride is the beginning of sin, and he that hath it shall pour out abomination, and therefore the Lord brought upon them strange calamities, and overthrew them utterly. That's why a lot of people get overthrown. And it starts with pride. All right. Hey, the first thing you do, you get up in the morning, you should be praying to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Before you go to sleep, you should be praying to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Just off that, you could not doing that, you could be made prideful, and the Lord could overthrow you. That's why people get overthrown. Demon, you wonder why, man, why am I getting overthrown with different demons? Well, you're prideful. You need to humble yourself. You need to slow your roll. That's why people being overthrown out the truth. All right, brothers, they woman committing adultery on them. All right, women getting beat on. There's all type of madness going on, man. It's just no precepts. There's no fear of the Lord. That's why the Lord said, and therefore the Lord brought on them strange calamities. And them strange calamities could be anything. All right, and the Lord can have, and the Lord can have them Casadas just go through your house. It's not just financially going broke and the Most High just have you lose your job. You're not gonna lose your job all the time. Like the Lord gonna send demons on you, calamities, reprobate mind. The Lord gonna have you destroy yourself. It says the Lord have cast down the thrones of proud princes and set up the meek in their stead. Hey, the Lord will always set up the meek in the stead of the proud. Hey, the Lord is ruling in the kingdom of men. Don't you understand that? Look what he did to Nebuchadnezzar for being prideful. All right. And the Lord had him go be with the beast of the field till 7 times pass over him. His nails grew long, hair all over his damn body, and he was eating grass. Yet was he at a king estate. So you have to put the Most High first, man. If you're not seeking the Most High first in all things, you going off. Right, let's go to the book. You got sisters, they trying to do their own thing, man. Right, yeah, I want to be a fashion designer. That's all you seeking. You got brothers just trying to be a rapper. It don't work like that. Now we're not saying you can't do those things on the side, but your first The reason why you're living is to serve the Most High. I don't think a lot of people understand that. The reason why you are living is to serve the Most High, nothing else. Everything other that could wait. That comes last. You are created to serve Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. That's it. That's all. What are we getting in our heads? We was created for more than that. Right? Let's go to the book of Matthew 6 and 33. Right? It's the book of Matthew, chapter 6 and 33. But seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. That's the first thing you gotta seek is the Lord, man. The moment you wake up, through the day, till you go to sleep, till you wake up the next day, all the way to the kingdom come. We gonna seek Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. That's all we have. That's all we know. Right? You get a couple more, I'm gonna wind down. Gotta get back in here. Nevertheless, these are the 3 signs that you feel with pride. All right, let's go to the book of Second Chronicles, chapter 32. All right, let's go to the book of Second Chronicles, chapter 32, and I want verse 24. Right, this Second Chronicles 32 and 24. And those days Hezekiah was sick to the death, and prayed unto the Lord, and he spake unto him, and gave him a sign. But Hezekiah rendered not again according to the benefit that was done unto him, for his heart was lifted up. That's a lot of brothers and sisters. Your heart is lifted up. All right. Hey, Hezekiah, his heart was lifted up, man. Therefore, the wrath upon him and upon Judah and Jerusalem. You gotta watch yourself, man. Watch when your heart get puffed up. That's why you have to be in these precepts and these words. Verse 26. Notwithstanding, Hezekiah humbled himself for the pride of his heart. And a lot of brothers can't do that, man. A lot of sisters, they can't do that. Actually humble yourself. A lot of times the Most High has to humble man for them to get it. But you want to be like Hezekiah, because again, like we established earlier, we all have pride within us. But you have to humble yourself, like Hezekiah did. You got to check yourself. You got to say, oh, man, my heart was lifted up. Let me humble myself. It says, notwithstanding, Hezekiah humbled himself for the pride of his heart, both he and inhabitants of Jerusalem, so that the wrath of the Lord came not upon them in the days of Hezekiah. So you have to humble yourself in the eyes of the Most High. Let the Lord exalt you. All right. But with that, we want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh by Shema Mashiach Umanak Yabushah. Lord willing, this video is edifying. Continue to read, pray, fast, study. Most importantly, beseech the Heavenly Father for his mercy. That I'm going to say shalom.